Good afternoon. It is a snowy but very beautiful day in New York City. I'm currently in Riverside Park and we're gonna take a walk down the Hudson River. It's actually a very beautiful spot and we're gonna go up through to 72nd Street again and we're gonna make our way through see, I'm gonna get another shot of of Lincoln Center because I feel like I didn't really get a chance to do that, and now I have 3 full batteries on me. So let's do that. The other thing that I have right now, well, unfortunately the other day, my GoPro is no longer accessible, so I had to invest in a new one, and I decided to get an upgrade. This is not the Hero 7 anymore, this is the Hero 8. And I decided to go with the 8 this time because it apparently has a slightly better stabilization. On top of that, I also got a moderately cheap stabilizer for the GoPro, so it's easier to hold. Granted, it wasn't that hard to hold to begin with, but I'm curious how stabilized these shots are going to be with this new software and with this new stabilizer. So that's partly what we're doing right now, is testing, and as you can see, the ground is quite bumpy, as beautiful as it is. So this will be a good test for that. And it'll make one hell of a time lapse too if I can get that going. Just gotta make sure that I keep my camera straight, not tilting too much up or down. But other than that, it's a really nice day for a walk. See, that's the thing about New York. We have a lot of intellectual people who really carry interesting conversations that bring society forward. I'm very honored by that. I'm honored to be around people that are intelligent, you know. The funny thing about photography in days like this, there's actually something beautiful about this kind of weather. It's sunny, but it's still very cloudy. This is actually perfect photography weather because you basically have a giant, like, floodlight, if you will, coming from the sun. You know, it's kind of being reflected from the clouds. So I hope the microphone isn't being covered up. Again, I have no idea where the microphone is on this new one. Yeah, we're gonna swing down towards the Boat Basin, then go up towards Lincoln Center. So I didn't get to cover that as much as I wanted to last time. I don't think I actually submitted. I don't think I actually. Yeah, I think I decided to stop streaming at that point. So this is a good opportunity to go back. I'm thinking some point this week I want to stop by the Hudson Yards because I've never been there before. This would be a good opportunity to go. So maybe I'll have a chance to do that. I love the sound of the echoes in a cave like that, like a little tunnel. That is a very big plane, and that's not even a jet plane. That's like a regular plane. I'm in wide angle, so you can't really see it. But it's got propellers. It doesn't have jets. Interesting. Yeah, it looks like a military plane. Well, welcome. This is the Hudson River. Up that way, you can all go all the way up to the Bronx and outside of New York, actually. In fact, if you're a bicyclist and you are, bold enough to travel out of the state and, like one of those hardcore bicyclists, you take this route. And it also goes all the way down too. We're gonna go downtown, but it'd be cool to go up and see the Washington Bridge up on 168th. I'm very curious how this video is going to turn out. If the camera's going to be audible and how smooth it's going to be, considering that this is a new GoPro that has a slightly better stabilization software inside, and it also is attached to a gimbal, which was less than 100. Occasionally I'll see like full-on electric bikes, not electric bikes, but the kind of Vespas, like electric Vespas that shouldn't be on here, but whatever, people don't really mind it, I suppose, and I guess I don't really either. But those one-wheelers are interesting. It looks like he's about to do a trick. I don't think he is, he's just propelling himself. I don't know how they work. I feel like that'd be interesting to ride on one of those things with the gimbal, with stabilization software. I'm very curious how smooth that shot would be. My biggest concern is the audio, because I don't know where the microphone is. I didn't know where it was on my other one too, and I always felt like I was covering it up at certain times. So hopefully I'm not doing that while this thing is strapped to the gimbal, but only time will tell when I look at the footage back. I look back at the footage. Excuse my syntax. I realized that it smells like crap over here. I realized that switching out the battery will be a little bit more complicated on this thing. I have to take this off the gimbal and switch it out, but that's okay. I can manage. We're also right next to the West Side Highway. FYI, I really hope that there isn't any shake here. It almost looks like there is a little bit, but I can't really tell. Yeah, we're right next to the West Side Highway, and it's like literally right over there. This is like off to the side, but it's a really nice view. Oh, and for the record, I'm also in wide view. There's another view called super view, but I feel like that would make things a little too distorted. I want to be able to see the maximum range of things, but with the minimal amount of warp. And I feel like wide is the best option for that. Even though it's slightly warped, at least you get a better idea of the landscape. Also, I wonder if I put this on. I'm experimenting with the different modes on the gimbal, seeing which one is ideal for this situation. I think on the mode that says L on it right now. I think it's just going to keep a steady frame. think L, I can move the gimbal. Ooh, no, I can't do that. Alright. That was the original setting that I had it. I might have to switch my battery out a little earlier than I expected, because I'm already at 56%. I might have to lower the brightness of the LCD screen too. It really is a beautiful walk. Oh, it sure does smell like crap. And depending on how good of a quality this video is with the stabilizer, it'll give me incentive to keep it. Sort of a test run with it. It seems decent enough. Already at 54%. It's going down quickly. Do you see how close I am to the highway? It's literally right there. Literally right next to it. I waved at her, she smiled. That's cool. So it's 50%. Luckily, I have 2 extra batteries on me, so it's really not much of a problem. But I am monitoring how quickly I'm losing it, considering it said I fully charged it earlier, but then I turned it on and it said only 86%. So that's something to take under consideration. If I'm gonna try to sneak around to the Metropolitan Museum again, I know that I might not be able to use this gimbal because it was already sus from their perspective that I was using my GoPro, even though I really don't see a big deal out of it. I might test it at the Natural History to see if they're cool with that. I really don't see why they would. So figured today would be more of a quiet commentary day, maybe every so often, and I'll just enjoy a nice walk through the park. Another military plane. It's huge. If I wasn't in wide view, you'd be able to see it better. It almost looks like it's slowing down in the sky. It's kind of interesting. It's because of how big it is. Looks like it's going at like a much slower speed. I wish this place wasn't roped off. Stepped in the mud. I hope it's mud. I think it's closed off for it's a private dock, or it's you have to have a boat here in order to walk down it or something. That's a shame. Hello, Mr. Pigeon. What do you have to say? What do you have to say about the accusation, Mr. Pigeon? Don't run away from the law. Pretty. Maybe at some point I can ask somebody permission to walk around the docks for a second, but not enter on anybody's like private property or whatever. There's a guy in that place right there. Marina closed. 79th Street Boat Basin is closed. The site is in design for dredging and reconstruction. You may contact us with any questions about at Boat Basin Parks.NewYorkCity.com. Oh, so it's not that it's privately owned. It's just it's reconstructing. There's people in there, but I don't want to ask them if I can go in. Although I secretly want to, but whatever. We're about to go into another interesting little section. Civilization. It smells like crap over here, I gotta be honest. I don't know why. It usually doesn't. This thing is interesting. I'm gonna try to stick my hand in it again because I got a really interesting shot the last time. But let's get rid of this crap. It's a really interesting shot, especially like getting it from the inside in the middle. So let's see if I can bring this way. And this is L. Okay. So first, find the center. I think they're doing construction right now too. So let's see what we can do here. Can it fit? Let's find out. There. Put this completely horizontal. Hang on, let's give it a shot. try with my other hand. Maybe I get better reach. Okay, now let's try putting it on L so that I can move it, but it will still remain in the same place. Let's try it. Here we go. That's cool. It got tilted though. Oh well. That's okay. That's what these experiments are for. Alright, let's continue. I think I'm better able to do that when I just hold my GoPro, not have it on a gimbal, but that's cool. Beautiful landscape. And over here, those birds are on a very rigorous flight walkthrough. Let me see if I can get that. You guys aren't playing around. I'm curious how some of these are going to turn out. Wow, these guys are like practicing. They're practicing their formation. That kind of What kind of camera you got?
Fuji.
Very nice. Very cool. I always ask that question. Let's just see what other kind of street photographers are doing in New York, but she seems to be a hobbyist, which is totally fine. It's a neat little spot. I'm not really sure what happens here when it's not in the state. I haven't ever actually seen it not like this. It's been kind of like this deserted feeling. It's kind of beautiful in a very rustic, ancient sort of way. It's like a David Attenborough documentary. The Roman Colosseum. And look at these guys. How you doing? Echo! What are you guys working on? What are you guys doing?
Just clean up.
Very cool. Always a good thing. Nice. Very chill. The blissful sounds of New York. Peaceful, tranquil. You can really center yourself here. I will say that this stabilizer makes it easier to hold and to maintain the same consistency where like the camera's framed. So that's cool. At least I just need to see what the sound's going to be like. Echo! Can make a really creepy like introduction for a horror movie using sounds from this very tunnel, or any of them from New York actually. About 15% battery left on this one. But once again, I have 2 other batteries, and I just wiped this SD card clean, so I'm still good to go. We're actually not there quite yet. %, battery, no problem. If I remember correctly, when I tested this out the first time, I think that the audio is going to be okay. But I'm still going to take this all the way to 72nd Street just because Riverside Park is beautiful. You might know the West Side or Riverside Park from the show The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, available on Amazon Prime to viewers like you. But no, it's actually a really good show. I thought I was going to hate it, and there's something about it that is just very charming. My favorite characters are Susie Myers and Miss Maisel's father. I'm actually blanking on the name on Joel? No, Joel's her husband. I totally forgot his name, but he's also the main character in the show, Monk. This might be a better place to turn. I just didn't want to go up that hill. So I don't like hills that much, especially when you're walking for a long period of time. And plus, I don't think I've ever gone down this block. Have I? Doesn't look too familiar. Let's get my phone fixed today, or I can do it over the weekend. Might be easier. %. I'll probably make it to 72nd. There's that building again that I like. I really want to live in at some point. But hey, hold true to the dreams of thy youth. Alright? If you can dream it, you can do it. I figured I was going to get somewhere close. I shouldn't have crossed, but whatever. I figured I would get close to somewhere around 45 minutes. But once again, I'm going to just pop out this battery and put a new one in as soon as this runs out. I think I mentioned this before, but I believe it was on this block. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was this block that there used to be a restaurant, a very famous restaurant that had a menu of like well over, there was like about a 20-page menu. And I guess it was really well known. There was a lot of pictures on the wall everywhere. It was very cramped, but also very cozy. And I don't remember what store that was in, but I'm pretty sure, like 70 to 85% sure it was on this block. And one of those things that used to be there, that's no longer there. All right, it says that I'm at 0%, so I'm gonna have to switch this out in like a very short period of time. And we're back. I switched out the battery and we're on our way. So this one actually seems to be burning up even faster. What? I literally just saw it at 100% and now it jumped down to 93. So now it's at 92. That's, and I did put the screen brightness significantly down, and now it's at 91. Jeez. Well, I'll have enough to go to Lincoln Center, I think, but that's a very fast burn rate. I'll have to check in a second. Wait. At 88%. This is a fresh battery. This is interesting. It's 87. Wow.
That's the point.
this burn rate, I don't know if I'll even be able to do an hour of footage with each battery. It's so fast. We're only 3 minutes in and it's already at 79%. Doesn't make any sense. The Hero 7, well, Hero 7 Black, which is the one that I had, was able to cover over an hour with each battery. So I'm curious what's being powered by more. Maybe I should bring some kind of an AC, portable AC outlet for this thing. But it all depends on how good the footage is in terms of stabilization. This Bloomingdale's used to be an Urban Outfitters for a very long time. I'll definitely make it to Lincoln Center. Maybe I can walk inside a little bit and see and look around. They'll let me. Or if I'm sneaky about it. Can't help but think to myself, you know, I'm here recording this on a tiny camera and a stabilizer, so I'm doing a weird tech thing right now, and you know, you see people on their electric scooters, and you see, I mean, everything that we've kind of envisioned about the future in movies and television seems like they're becoming true in real life. So pretty soon we're gonna see like flying cars and stuff, and I'm looking forward to that. And I'm always curious when the first alien encounter is gonna happen. I feel like I hear Morpheus's voice as I'm looking around. I'm looking at the architecture, and there's like this fusion of like very interesting future tech stuff all around me, including the device that I'm holding and using. And you know, I'm looking at like there's like a fusion of old New York from like the Victorian era to like new technologies. I'm looking around and thinking about Morpheus in the Matrix, and he's like, here's the world as you know it near the end of the 20th century. And this is like the dawn of when the computers took over, and we are kind of seeing the beginning stages of that. So if anyone sees this 1,000 years in the future, at least they'll get a good glimpse of what it was like before technology was one completely and utterly integrated even into our like biology. So it's just an interesting passing thought. This Duane Reade was open for years and was always one of the old school ones before they renovated it. Oh, by the way, Duane Reade is actually an exclusively New York City store. There are no other Duane Reades in the country or in the world. We're the only ones that have it, but they're also an off-brand from Walgreens. But I'm sure that anyone in the United States knows Walgreens, I think. Walgreens is a very old company. I don't fear technology though, I embrace it. I appreciate it, I always have. Even since the Game Boy came out when I was 6. Well actually, Game Boy Pocket, to be fair. And the beginning stages of Pokemon, I was there. Me and my friends bought the red and the blue version. So I'm at almost the 10-minute mark and I'm already at 55% battery. So that means I can really only get 20% battery out of these new batteries that I got, these extra batteries, and they were able to last over an hour with the Hero 7. So I might have to look into exchanging these batteries that I have now for ones that can actually work a little longer if there's any kind of upgraded battery system. This used to be an Ollie's. I have no idea what restaurant this is now. I actually rather like the food here. Should check out what that is now. This Apple store is actually particularly interesting because it's changed 3 times so far in my life. It used to be a Spanish restaurant in the 90s, and then it became a Victoria's Secret with 3 floors for like almost 10 years, and then now it's been this Apple store for another 10, and there's a lot of scaffolding on it now. The scaffolding is interesting actually. Notice that it's a different design than like a regular scaffolding. I'll show you what a regular one looks like later. There's a whole episode of a show on HBO called How To with John Wilson that talks about, ooh, my fly's down, that talks about scaffolding and how it's become kind of a necessary thing to have on buildings because they constantly need renovation. And now that it's become such a trend to have all these, see, look at that green one over there, that's a regular scaffolding that you'll see versus the kind of artsy one that's in front of the Apple. And again, I have to credit John Wilson for opening my eye to that. He's quite a brilliant director, and I don't know, maybe at some point like I can say hi to him, and or his producer, another brilliant man that I'm currently blanking on because I'm focusing on filming. But anyway, as you can see, that's what a regular one looks like. And I guess because scaffoldings have to be up so frequently, I should have said hi back. Oh well. Because scaffolding has to be up so frequently, that people have made it into an art form and kind of a status symbol of what kind of scaffolding you have. That's like a designer scaffolding, if you will. See, we're under scaffolding right now. I'm sure anybody else who has seen my videos that I go under a lot of scaffolding on a pretty regular basis. So once again, I'm 100% crediting John Wilson for that perspective of something in New York City. It's a great episode. It's a great show, honestly. Everyone should watch it. He's a really funny guy. So I'm guessing I'm gonna get roughly 20 minutes of footage here. That's fine. Yeah. More scaffolding. Yeah. It's amazing how freight elevators work. I don't know why I'm fascinated by it, but I am. It's a fairly high-end part of town. It's also a very musical part of town too. There's a lot of professional musicians over here. Understandably, because this is where Lincoln Center is. This is also where Juilliard is. And there's a high school called LaGuardia where half of my friends went. So I know this area very well. It'd be so dope to actually go on a construction site. I would love to see that. Damn, 36% already. Huh. Good to know. Hey, the water fountain's on. Or maybe it was there last time too. I can't remember. Well, this is Lincoln Center. If you're a classical performer, the odds of this being the main stage for you is very high. I have a compulsion to walk around this circle for a minute. I don't know why. No? Lame? Well, that's unfortunate. Which building should I try walking into first? If I'm able to. It is a beautiful building.